Hashem Hashem, Na'aseh v'natzliach. Thank you everyone for coming. I believe, is this the 11th or the 12th shiur on Olam Hamidot, Sefer Olam Hamidot. We are in the Olam HaKavod, the world of respect, honor. And the last thing that we started learning, is how important it is to give kavod to others. It's funny, we're learning about kavod, how kavod is bad. We shouldn't look for kavod, but definitely, it's an extremely important thing to give kavod. Kavod will give life to the other person. Gives a certain healthy soul to the other person. And the last thing we said was how is it possible if kavod is so important? Why do we always learn that a person should run away from kavod? And we said that the kavod that you run away from, that's the healthy one. The kavod that you look for, that's the harmful kavod. That was the last thing we said, right? And of course, as far as we're concerned, on the receiving end of the kavod, it's only so that we'll look through, it's a startup, it's a jump start for us to understand, like we mentioned before, our own self-worth, who we are, and we're not supposed to let it get to our head, and if anything, we're supposed to run away from whatever kavod is being given to us. Now, there's a few tips, few categories, shall we say, that we're going to go through when it comes to giving kavod to other people. So number one, as we know, all over Pirkei Avot, if you go over Pirkei Avot, you'll see that our Chachamim teach us that we need to give kavod and honor and respect to other people. והווה מקבל את כל אדם בסבר פנים יפות. What does that mean? To greet everyone with a sever panim yafot, nice face. Usually we translate it as to smile to other people. You don't want to show them a look of sadness and dealing with them, talking to them. The Rambam, on Pirkei Avot, he says like this: She'yisa v'yiten im haberiyot. He's dealing with people, right? It should be in a calm manner and with sweet and desired words. That's what the Rambam says. This is how he explains Sefer Panim Yafot, right? That he deals with people in a calm manner and in sweet, wanted words. Usually, when you're dealing with someone very important, someone very respectful, someone who demands honor, we are very careful to listen to them when they're talking. You listen to every word. You don't stop them while they're talking. He says this is what we need to get used to doing to everyone, whether it's an older person or a younger person, to learn to listen to them and not to stop them in the middle of their talking. He says it's also a nice thing from time to time, at least, to call people in a respectful name, like Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so, out of respect, or even sometimes from time to time, get up for them. What we call in halacha hidur. You have to stand up fully, you go a little like this, to practice that giving respect to everyone. This is already part of Sefer Panim Yafot, that the other person feels a boost, and it would be a big help. Now, we have to be careful that these things shouldn't be just a fake, superficial behavior. We need to plant it within our hearts, the importance of other people. And as we said in Pirkei Avot, Chaviv Adam, it says that the human being is dear, Shenivra B'Tselem, that he was created in the image, like it says, Ki B'Tselem Elokim Aseh et Adam. All human beings are created in the image of Hashem. And then the Mishnah continues, Chavivin Yisrael. Israel is even more dear because they're called the children of Hashem, right? Banim atem l'Hashem Elokechem, right? This week's parasha Kedushim. And also, it says in Pirkei Avot, "Hevet dan et kol adam lekaf zechut." You should always judge everyone favorably, right? And it says, "Al tadin et chavercha ad shetagia limkomo." Do not judge the other person until you reach his place. All of these things are coming to teach us, different places in Pirkei Avot, coming to teach us that we need to come to recognize everybody's importance, to look at them with a good eye, and not chas v'shalom to say, this guy is this, in our mind, this person is this person is that, to put them down, chas v'shalom. And always, the words of Ramban in his Igeret, in his famous letter, comes up, and he says, it's a small letter, but every word in this Igeret Ramban is a gem. It says, "V'chol adam yeh gadol mimecha be'enecha." Every person should be greater than you in your eyes. Im chacham o ashir hu alecha lechabedo. If he is wise or wealthy, you need to give him kavod. You need to respect him. Why? Because you see, Hashem gave him a certain beracha. And if Hashem is giving him beracha, you need to respect that. Ve'im rashhu ata ashir. And if he is a pauper, he's poor, and you're wealthy, or you are smarter than him, chashov belibecha. You need to think in your heart that you have a heavier obligation. You are more responsible than him, and therefore he is less carrying sins than you, right? Because if he is a sinner, that would be not doing it on purpose, because he doesn't have the means, he doesn't have the ability, he doesn't have the understanding. But you do, so therefore that'll make you more responsible for your actions, and because of that, you need to respect the other fellow. Right? These are all part of the midah of anava that the Ramban is teaching that we should have, and obviously it comes with this thing that how to respect the other people. And for sure included in this kavod to others, very important, to show your love, your friendship to your friend, right? Because the other person, naturally feels that if his friends like him, so that must be a good sign that, I'm a good person, I have some worth, I have some value. If other people like me, must be there is something good about me at least. It says, there's also again back to Pirkei Avot, in the first paragraph, Hillel says, Heve mitalmidav shel Aharon, you should be students of Aharon, right? Ohev shalom, verodev shalom, ohev et haberiyot umkarvan laTorah. Like, it's interesting, he puts these things together, that you need to love shalom, chase shalom, love creatures, everyone, and bring them close to Torah. Why? Because when you show your love to other people, this is how they come close to Torah. Everyone thinks, wow, if Aaron HaKohen, the great Aaron HaKohen, he loves me, he likes me, he shows interest in me, that must be that I'm something. I gotta be something. How can a person like me, that I have such connection with Aaron, sin? How can I behave rude? How can I say rude things? And it's important when you meet a friend, to ask them, different things about their life that you remember, things that happened to them a while back, and to show them that you're thinking about them. That, I've been thinking about you, whatever happened with that thing that you were doing, and that shows that you're interested in their life. He says, if you see your friend is tired, ask him, is everything okay? Are you okay? Are you feeling all right? And these sort of things will give chizuk to the other person, right? And again, this is not, it's great, even if it's just superficial at least, but these things need to be within our heart to build that ahavat haberiyot, that love to the people. The outer actions surely will get embedded within a person, that he will develop that love and friendship with other people, just like Aaron HaKohen. So up to here, this is like, that a person should know to give kavod, how to give kavod to other people, and it branches off to many different areas in life and different types of friends and whoever it is. Another tool, another thing to remember is that a person needs to pick up on different special traits that other people have and to praise them for that. Very important, right? If we could help the other person succeed, to be the best at what they are, if we praise them with what they have, right? And this is a great chesed. He gives one example. If you have a friend that has a good voice, okay, and and you don't let him know that he has a great voice, how will he know? Like, he himself can't know, because we all think we have a great voice. Who's going to think, very bad voice? Everyone thinks they're great singers. They're born singers. Hashem Yirachem, right? But, if his friends tell him, listen, wow, I heard you singing, and it was great. It was like, you did such a great job, right? This is an amazing thing. You're doing the person a chesed, by giving him that boost. But truthful, of course, we're going to see that, it has to be truth, right? And you know what? Who knows? Because of what you just did, because of what you just said, right? This friend is gonna use this gift that he has from Hashem, his good voice that he has, and he's gonna use it to arouse people in tefillah and different things, singing, whatever it is. They say one time this guy came to his son, older man, 55 years old man, comes to his son. He says, "You know what? My friends at work were telling me I'm quite smart. Is that true?" Right? Quite sad, right? That means he has no friends, this guy. He's 55 years old, and now his friends, his co-workers are telling him he's smart. So he needs a recognition. Yes, he needs to come to his son to get acknowledgement about what they're doing. He's in a bad shape, right? No one ever told him that he was smart. Come on. This shows how much a person needs that recognition, and we need to give them that. Right? And as we said, it has to be the truth. You can't lie to the guy, right? We need to look at the other person and see in truth what they have, right? Sometimes, if a person praises someone else and it's a lie, right? You're not doing him a favor. It's not a true chesed, right? Let's say our example. The guy, you want to tell him, wow, you have such a great voice. He doesn't, right? You're not doing him a favor. It's the opposite, right? What's going to happen? If he believes you, right? And he's going to become a chazan. And either people are not going to say anything, or people are going to say this is terrible. People are going to walk out of the shul, and then it's not only you didn't do him a favor, you damaged the guy, right? Everybody's going to look down on him, and we didn't. And then he's going to realize that you were lying to him all this time. He's never going to trust you again, right? So and the whole world that he built on, it says sometimes the chazan thinks, oh man, I don't know what's going on behind me. I'm sure everybody's in seventh heaven. They love my heavenly voice. So all they need to do, remove the talit and see everybody's dozing off, But in reality, it needs to be the truth. It needs to be that someone tells, a true friend will tell him, that if his voice is really good, he should tell him. Otherwise, what should he do? Tell him, oh, Chazak Baruch. You have to praise him, right? Or you could say, you know what? I liked your voice, or the songs that you chose, But don't tell him, ooh, you could be a chazan, you could be a singer. Why don't you put out a CD? No, none of that. It's fake and it's a lie. It's bad. It won't do anything good. But the truth is, we don't need to lie, because everyone has, Baruch Hashem, a lot of great traits that we could recognize, we could pick up on, and we just have to find it. We have to look for it, and to praise them for that. Not to resort to finding lies, right? Because if you lie, that's a sign that you don't really know the person, and everything goes down the drain, because it won't give the person chizuk. It won't give him that ability to build himself. It's just going to be damaging for your friendship, damaging for the person, and he won't know the true praise, that he really deserves. So that's as far as traits that a person has. There's another thing that we have to pay attention to give praise for good deeds, right? That also takes paying attention to, right? When you see that your friend does a good act, right? You need to show them that it was important, that it was good, that it was beneficial, what they did, right? And through that, they'll get chizuk, they get more strength to do more good things, to do more for the community, or whatever it is good that they did. But again, we don't have to exaggerate, right? You don't have to trumpet it up and say, wow, this was you saved thousands of lives with what you did, and so on and so forth. You see a person learning. You go, you shul, you see, wow, this guy, every day he's there, 9 o'clock in the morning, and he's learning. So how do you praise him? You can't go to him saying, wow, you're such a matmid, you're so diligent. Because it's not true. He knows it. He's not diligent. He's, he only learns for an hour, 2 hours, and then he's gone. He's doing other things. Who knows what he's doing? So a diligent person, he's learning, 10 hours a day at least. But he's not, and he knows it, so he sees that you're lying. So what should you tell him? You should tell him, wow, it's so important that you're setting up this time, giving up from your time, and you're learning. And that'll give him like an amazing boost already, right? Because if you lie, then the other guy is gonna say, okay, you know what? In halakha there is this concept: edut shebatla miksata, batla kula. What does that mean? That means the testimony, the part of it is batel. That means it was proven that testimony was wrong, part of it. So then the whole testimony is out the window. We don't accept the whole testimony. So here too, you're telling him, wow, you're he's so diligent in your Torah study and everything. He knows it. So then the other praises that you're going to give him, he's going to say, this guy just exaggerates. And he won't take it. And you're not helping him. But the ones that really look real, they're those are the good ones. In our example, the guy goes over to him, he says, look, every time I see you here learning, I get chizuk, that I want to learn too. I want to learn more like you. This is real. This is by way of example, he's showing other people how great it is. And look at this. I accomplished something with my learning. And it's not you're just announcing you're doing great. You're doing more. It's something personal. There's a personal note. Or you hear someone gives a drasha, right? Gives a speech. You walk over to him, you could say, chazak wa very nice, that's definitely going to bring him down. That's not really what he needs to hear. If you say, I like what you said, especially that sentence, you quote something from what he said, or, whoa, I didn't know this halakha, you talk to him about it, or if it's halakha, if it's a thing, this is awesome, because he's not going to say, yeah, he's just saying it, he wasn't even listening. He was listening, right? Or, you hear his praise from someone. You go over to him and you say, so-and-so told me that he really liked what you said. He really liked what you did. It has to be the truth. You can't lie, But this is definitely giving kavod to the other person, giving him that boost. And that gives life. That gives, an amazing injection of life into the other person by this action. And it's not just empty talk, because you are going into detail, So these things, each chacham does, with their own wisdom, with what's right. Also, it's great to praise the other person with any good thing that he does. For example, if he made something, if he fixed something, if he bought something, to give him praise and to encourage him. You could even tell him, wow, what a nice haircut you got, or I don't know. Think of so many different things. I like your bag that you bought. I like your, any praise that you give, and it's truth, it's perfect. It's excellent, because you are showing recognition You're showing that you're friends and you're giving kavod. If a person was missing for a couple of days, you go and you say, "Hey, I haven't seen you around. Is everything okay?" You know, this is amazing, right? Or if he's gone for a couple of days, a person calls and say, "Hey, I missed you. I haven't seen you. Are you okay?" And so on and so forth. It gives a person a boost that, "Hey, I'm important, and I've been missed." We would be surprised, how much these things help in the other person's kavod and thereby giving him that injection of life. There's another thing that's very important, and that's praising another person's children, right? How much nachat a person gets when he hears, positive things about this child. The opposite is true. Nobody likes it when someone comes over and says, something negative about their children. Nobody likes it. So from there, you see the opposite is also. When you give positive, you say, I don't know, he was doing this thing with their chariots, or he did this thing so nice. They get nachat from it. They get enjoyment from it, and it's great. This is something very delicate, though. You can't overdo. You gotta do. It has to be sincere. It has to be real, and it has to be your kavanah. Your intention is fully to give the other person that boost and understanding and appreciation that he has to have about his child's behavior. And of course, so much chesed is involved in hakarat hatov, in gratitude, right? Let's go on the receiving end. A person helped other people a lot, right? How disappointed he is. For sure, even if he does it Hashem Shamayim, but he's still deep down, he'll be disappointed if people don't show gratitude. They're not grateful for what he did. So our job is someone that does something for other people, or for us, or for others. And we need to give that show of gratitude to the other person and to praise them for this. So how thoughtful of you. Wow, this was an amazing thing that you did. This was so helpful. This was so good, And a person who understands this, right, will definitely see, will appreciate. Meaning to say that a person that understands this concept will also understand that it's not just the act, it's what brought about this act. It's what brought about what the person did. For example, someone reads the Torah in shul. We have these little kids, Baruch Hashem, they come to shul and they read, a little piece, little part of the Torah. Everyone says, "Wow, so nice." But think about it. You know how much, I know mothers are going crazy, we heard it 1,000 times. But they worked hard. They worked hard. They have to be appreciated. I'm telling you, there's so much appreciation that has to go to this. They worked hard on this. You know how many times they have to go over it and over it and over it until they know it? And an adult Baal Korah as well. It's not like, we can't take it for granted. Oh, wow, it's his job, wow. No, they put time, they put effort, they put, and it's embarrassing. They make one mistake, they go, "Oh, man, I made a mistake." We really have to appreciate it. It's not a joke. It's serious. So this is something to pay attention to and to have that gratitude, to show that gratitude for the hard work that they put in. We need to pay attention to these things. The work that led up, the work that that brought about the fruit that we see, and to praise for that as well. Right? There's a mitzvah of loving the other person like yourself. Right? So we need to think how important it would be for me, for people just to recognize what we did, in preparation for what we did, or the thing itself, and now the door opens up for so many things. The famous stories you hear, the Gedolim would thank the mailman, thank you so much. It's not just for delivering your mail. They go and they prepare and they sort things and they walk around. They have to schlep all these things that go around. It's not easy. Or the waiter that brings you food, same thing. All these things, a person that if we pay attention, there's a lot of room for this. There's a mitzvah to give kavod, right, to everyone, young, old, big, small, even a person that's older than you, like a Rav of the shul, or we need to give them chizuk. Now here though, it's a little different. We have to be careful. it has to be with kavod and derech eretz. But if we're just blank, we don't show any reaction, they have no idea if what they're doing has any effect. They're trying to teach their students. They're teaching them Torah, teaching them Musar. How will they know that they're succeeding in what they're doing? How? If not them coming and appreciating and showing them and proving to them. Even if a person is a famous speaker, you say, you take it for granted. Oh yeah, he knows he's a great speaker. I don't have to tell him. No, he's not sure if this time I spoke well. For other times, people say, but what about this time? But again, we need to be careful how we tell them. Big rabbi, big speaker comes and speaks. Or say, ooh, that was something new that is amazing. But there are some things you can't say because it would be disrespectful. So we need to think how to say it, how to put it in words.
Is it okay for a woman to?
For sure, for a woman to say thank you very much, there's no problem. I don't see a problem. A big rabbi spoken, you say thank you very much,
Because you're sitting in the back of the shul and it's just.
if it's possible, to be loud and say, hey, like that. I don't know if that's gonna go well. But if an opportunity shows up and a person is able to step forward and quietly and say thank you very much, it was great. It was really helpful. It definitely will give the person a boost of confidence or whatever it is. It's akarat atov that they would respect. I have sent emails before, or if it's someone that I have their number, I've sent a text. Thank you so much. It was great for our community. Why not? If written with kavod and respect, it's great. It's great. This is exactly what we're talking about. It gives us. Last thing, it says even a goy, for sure. It says in Gemara Barachot, Amru alav Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, you know who Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was? He was the leader of the Jews at the harshest times in the history, at times of the Khurban. For 40 years he was the Nasi, he was the head of the Sanhedrin. He's the one that went to the general, to the Caesar, and to save the Jews. He was an able, one of the biggest chachamim of that generation, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. It says, Amru alav Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, shelo hikdimo adam shalom. No one ever beat him to say shalom. Even a goy on the street, he beat them to it. Could you imagine? Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he has nothing better to do with his life, right? Always shalom, like that. And we already learned this in Pirkei Avot. Chaviv Adam, and Adam is dear because he's created B'Tselem. Tiferet Yisrael says, if you pay attention, it says Adam. Adam is even a goy, because right after that the Mishnah says Chavivin Yisrael. So you see, Israel has its own place, but Chaviv Adam Shenivra B'Tselem, that he's dear because he's creating the image of Hashem, and therefore you see from here that we need to behave with derech eretz, with kavod. And if they do something good for us, of course, we need to appreciate, we need to show our appreciation, right? It's not just Kiddush Hashem, Chilul Hashem, right? It's the point of the Mishnah says, Chaviv Adam Shenivra B'Tselem, right? They're Adam, they're Ma'aseh Yadav Shel Hashem. Some of them lose their Tzelem Elokim, that's something else. But, normally, there are some people that they want to separate, they want to create separation, for obvious reasons, good, okay, but that doesn't mean that they should put down and disgrace goyim, right? It's not a proper chinuch to learn to put someone else down. It's not a proper chinuch, right? Why put down? Just show how a Jewish person, by performing mitzvot, by Torah, they're elevated, but not to put down. We don't gain kavod by putting other people down. And B'ezrat Hashem, we should be able to do it. The next segment is going to be a little long segment, but it's all about kavod for our children. And B'ezrat Hashem, we should dedicate it to